This morning we're going to install an Easy Step. This one's a G3 model. It's a galvanized model so that it'll weather the salt a little better. So we're going to open the box, see what we got. If you decide you want to look into ordering one of these, if you go to their website, it's under Easy Step System, and they put in a form for a pre-order, and it really looked pretty complex. So I called the phone number that was listed, spoke to a gentleman named Ryan, and didn't have to do all that. Instead, all I had to do was I shot him a picture of the boat on the trailer and told him that I thought that a G3 model was what I needed, and after he had looked at the pictures, he agreed. So we're going to find out if either one of us knew what we were talking about. Checklist showing that everything's in the box with 2 people signed off on it. That's interesting. Like that. And then installation. I really believe that this is pretty cut and dry. So, as so many of us do, we'll look at those instructions if we have a problem when we get through. Got lots of cardboard. Then we have smaller boxes, hardware. And I'm sure steps. So far I can say it's really packaged nicely. This will be a handrail. And this will be the platform that everything builds off of. Okay, so it's time to take a look at the instructions. Installing tools needed: 9/16 socket and ratchet, and a 9/16 inch wrench. Then installing the step tube to the trailer tongue. It surprised me a bit. I really figured they would put the steps together first. Guess that makes sense. So we're going to set up just a little different so that we can show that installation and beginning on the boat trailer. I couldn't help myself, had to open the boxes to see what was in them. So in the hardware boxes, the steps, and these really appear to be pretty nice. Truly the biggest concern that I had just in researching is, will the glue holding the non-skid on these hold in place after they've been out in the weather for a while? So there's going to be my challenge. That's going to take a while to be able to answer. So I've got 3 steps, then U-bolts for mounting to the trailer, and nuts and bolts. So looks pretty simple. I'll find out why it's not here in just a little bit. The first thing we'll need to do is determine the angle we want the steps to come up. And they have one more adjustment than I had expected. From what I had seen, you probably had 2 options in that you could come straight up 90 degrees or 20 degrees off, and obviously there's a 3rd position, so that may be very helpful in looking at doing just a straight 90 degree. From looking at it, I could bring the steps off this side or this side and bring it off this side. Maybe I could work that, I'm not sure. Then if I bring it over, I'm going to have to move my hitch there. And then I can bring it all the way over to here. So I'm going to play with that just a little bit. I'm not really sure how I want to go with that one. So we'll try that out here in just a moment. The first thing that I'm going to have to do, my boat to trailer latch, which I have enjoyed, and I'm going to move it because obviously it's right in the way, and everything, it gets a little crowded because with the trolling motor, obviously I don't want to have to step up over it, and then to be able to tighten it up here, I don't want this in the way to where I'm having to beat up against that. And so now the third piece of the puzzle is the boat to trailer hitch, where I'd put it over here to be away from the trolling motor. So I'm going to move this handle now to the other side because I don't think it's going to be that big a deal with that. So that's what we're going to do right now. I did break down, took a little time, looked at the directions, and there's two sets of U-bolts depending on the size of the trailer that you're attaching to. There's also this little packet, which I would guess to be some type of Loctite. I don't see where it's described in the directions as to where to use it, or even if that is what it is. I can't imagine what else it might be. Having watched a few YouTubes of some different installations though, I'm probably going to go with the Loctite product since I am familiar with that. Another something, after having taken some time to look at the directions, there are three positions that this can go in. You can go straight, or you can go to this side, or you can go to this side. So those are the choices, and I've gone ahead and moved the handle for the boat to trailer latch, and I think that's going to work well. It's out of the way. It's out of the way for the handle over here. So we're going to lay this up here, and I'm going to start it, I believe. I'm not sure. I'm going to see what it looks like when I hang a step on it. I decided to loosely fit some pieces together because I just couldn't get it in my head how I wanted to have things work. So I mounted the top step just finger tight on the bolts, and the bottom's just sitting there. And then I went ahead and put the handle on because I had it in my mind that if I could keep that handle on this side, it would leave me a lot more open room over here because of the step coming off to this side. But the problem that I'm running into is too much clutter, and that's the latch release over here. If I run at a straight angle, then I'm right up on it. I can get off of it just a breath, but not much. Even if I turn it to the 20 degrees, then I'm still bumping. So that's not going to work for me. So I'm going to have to mount to the other side and bring it in like that. I've saved you a fair amount of time from being stupid. So I'll tell you what I did stupid, and then you can not be stupid if you do this. Number one stupid, and that was the U-bolts. And I had mentioned there are two different sizes. I was totally convinced that it needed to be these, the longer ones. And so I threaded these son of a guns all the way to about here, and kept thinking, geez, this is stupid looking. This could almost be dangerous. There's so much sticking up. Well, I left it that way for a bit, and then after I kept looking at it and went back to the box, it was, wonder. and you can see how nicely the correct ones fit. Number 2, stupid. This one I only got stupid on 2 steps, so, and that is these washers. I had put the bolts in, put the washers on the other side, all good, and then, as is often the case, when I go back to the bag, and it's, wonder why I got so many extra parts left. So then I look at the pictures and saw, oh, so that's why. So took those back apart, put those back on. So you can see how things are fitting now. The arm for the boat to trailer latch release, plenty of room there now. Then I've got good room through here, and then I'm fitting around the spare tire. So right now things are looking good. I'm going to go ahead and put the last step on. I'll put that one on now that I know what I'm doing, so that you can watch and see how to do it correctly. So to put these on correctly, we'll start with washers, and we'll put them on the outside of the bolt. I guess that would be correct. The side the nut doesn't go on. We'll take a step, and the steps, as all of this, really quite heavy duty. And the pieces that I've dealt with so far, I mean, they fit snug, but they really fit well. Okay, then we'll take 2 more washers, 1 on each bolt. And then I have been using some blue Loctite. I hope that I'm not being stupid in this. The nylon in the bolt and the nuts to me would be holding things fine, but at the same time decided to try this. Somebody out there watching this may going, idiot, they're going to melt the nylon. Hopefully not. If that is the case, please make a comment to let me know so that I can go buy some more. Then simply finger tighten those nuts on. And 9/16 wrench and socket, and to Easy Steps credit, it's the only size you have to fool with. Even where they do have an adjustment for the handrail, that you can place another bolt on it to adjust how things fit on that, but they're all made the same size, and that is really nice, not having to go track down whatever pieces out there and be able to just keep one set of tools. Okay. I've spent a couple hours doing this install. Much of that was in just simply trying things in different ways. Then of course there were the two oops that I managed to do. But overall, everything's a bit shaky because I'm up here on the stand, but you can see what we look like. It is seriously pretty good material, and so I'm not worried about that. It's something that you can grab hold of and get some support. As far as I would like to have been able to place the steps somewhat differently, but not bad. And again, much of the shaking is because we're just sitting on the front jack of the boat here. But I think I'm going to really like it. It's something that it's not a all the time use. And I'd had someone ask me back on the boat to hitch video, why? I don't understand, what's the purpose? Well, you don't have to have either one of these things. It's just a matter of making it a little easier. And there is a difference between being my age and being 25 and what the needs are to make that accomplished. On the boat to hitch, particularly, and loading the boat, to be able to pull up, latch the boat, and then be pulled out of the water, then climb off the boat, and at that point you can come off the back, step off on the fender wells. On an aluminum trailer, I'm not worried about doing that. If I had a painted trailer, maybe, but that wouldn't be a problem. But if you're by yourself, then you pull up, you're latched, that's good. But unless you were fortunate enough to get very close to the dock and be able to step off, and that your angles are decent, then you're not going to be able to step off the back. And on this trailer in particular, on the front tire, where I would normally climb down and that would be my first footstep, they put like a regular wheel there, so it'll just spin round and round. That's where I've strapped it to hold it in place a bit, but it still will move this far. So it's just, for me, for the inconvenience of it, for the sheer safety of it, that this made sense to me. So now I can drive up, I'm latched already, and then I can come off the front of the boat. This is, I've seen them do it on the YouTubes, and they're up and down it like gymnasts. I'm not that. So for my part, I make my turn just like a regular ladder and come down. They do make one more step that I may consider. With it up like this, it actually sits higher than if it were hooked to the truck. So I might have to try it that way. And then I may come back in and put a lower step down. Not sure. This gets me about where I want to go. Hope this has been informative to you. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. Thanks.